Hey everyone. So for my position paper project, I chose Medievalists of America as my sort of discourse community to talk about. So, medieval studies field in America has a wide range of scholarship and scholars. Um, there are many that know each other. It's a very intimate type of group, even though it's spread out throughout the country. And a lot of the connection comes through social media, such as Twitter. Um, medieval Twitter is a very popular hashtag in the field, as well as Facebook and Facebook groups. And yeah, so those are the ways that medievalists tend to connect with each other while they're, on their respective campuses. So the issue that is currently happening is due to the political climate that we live in the United States, there has been a lot of divide on how to address the fact that white supremacy groups and Nazis are infatuated with this field of study. They have this concept, mostly thanks to Hollywood, that the medieval period is sort of this like pure white Christian wonderland, and that's what everyone should strive to return back to, when men were men and women were women and da 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 da, all this other stuff. And within the field itself, some prominent scholars who have tenured jobs at major research one universities tend to support and even back up some of those claims, and it's unsettling because the medieval field, as far as today is concerned, has scholars of color, have, you know, women who are scholars, and it's not all just one type of group that's part of this um, discourse community. And so the example that I'm going to talk about that has really come to light due to social media influences and posts is a scholar from the University of Chicago and who attacks another scholar from a minor university because of who she supports. So, yeah. So, the source that I'm linking is the article from Higher Education, which essentially summarizes what happened. Dr. Rachel Fulton Brown from the University of Chicago is one of the unfortunately small group of medievalists who support the white supremacy claims about the medieval period. And she has this idea of how the medieval period should look like. And it's very white and very Christian and not at all what the true depiction of medieval period is. And she has attacked a medievalist of color, an Asian American by the name of Dr. Dorothy Kim, who is currently pushing for the medieval field to be more inclusive, to bring in people of color, queer people, more women. And Dr. Brown felt that she had the right to attack Dr. Kim for her beliefs. And so this article tends to summarize how everything began. However, I want to show that before that there was this contention between the two that started through blog posts from Dr. Brown's website. Dr. Brown made it very public um, affair that there was this argument that was happening, and essentially put it out there for the world to see, and made it clear how her views about the medieval period she believes to be true, and attacks certain colleagues, which in turn makes the medieval scholars look like a non-inclusive, non-progressive field that people won't feel safe being a part of. So, in these three posts, she essentially tries to state that instead of trying to push for inclusion. Medievalists should celebrate white men because white men have done all these great things, in her words. And then when Dr. Kim came out with her post about wanting the medieval field to be more inclusive, Dr. Brown made it appear as if she was saying that white people were not allowed to be in the medieval field anymore. And it's a very strange way that she twisted that argument around. So, yeah. So, some of the languages. So, I've been talking a lot about the medieval period, and we have certain languages, such as medievalists, which is a term that we call ourselves because we are people that study the medieval period. And the medieval period is the time period itself tends to change around, but most people usually cite 350 to 1400. Then there are Anglo-Saxons, which is what Dr. Brown is, and that's people who study particularly early English history. And then white supremacy group is essentially people who are white who believe that they are the superior race. And so a lot of this language and discourse is what we talk about in conferences and when we discuss some of the issues that are on the table and that we're facing. So, what are the solutions to this problem? Well, one solution has already been sort of put into effect. The Medieval Academy of America is the largest medieval association in the United States that there is, and it encompasses Canada and North America, and Mexico, which is total North America. And so they came out with a new value statement in response to the attacks that they were witnessing happening through via social media. And in the bullet area, they discuss what those new changes are, such as that members need to not attack others and not to use the name, their organization's name, in a way that's not true. However, I say that the other biggest issue is social media itself. It shouldn't have been an event that took place over social media, and it shouldn't have been something that was out there in the open for all the world to see and to critique and to make comments of, because if you do just a basic search, you'll see that almost everyone, almost so many people had something to say about it. So, having scholars vet what they say on social media is vital to making sure that the medieval scholars present themselves as how they should be. And also having a frank conversation about the fact that the medieval period and medieval scholars really have a bad reputation that they need to start fixing, where they need to let people know that women, people of color, queer folks are all welcomed within that space. So, in my conclusion, I argue that we need to come up with real consequences for scholars who attack another scholar. And whether that's putting them under review, whether that's questioning their membership within the organization, is completely a valid point. And also, as medieval scholars, all coming together to fight against these perceptions. And that is my position on this topic.